welcome to Two Balls and a Mic. Today, as we are getting closer to the USL League starting here in July 11th, San Diego Loyal is coming back to action against Real Monarcas in Utah. One of those two. At least the US still has a Monarchs. But today we're gonna have
I like that.
Today we're gonna have a conversation, a little bit more of a roundtable discussion. We have Mr. Hector Trujillo, who is a contributor for periódico El Sol de Tijuana and here in El Latino. You can find him at SD Steeler on Twitter. How's it going, Hector?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, guys. Long time no see.
Absolutely, man. And what is there a number on the back of that Chivas jersey, or is it just blank, nice, comfy Chivas?
That's the old school one. Yeah, old school.
Love it, man. Love it, man. And so, for those that might not know, Hector, I know I said, you do contribute for El Sol de Tijuana and Latino. Could you give our listeners / watchers a little bit of background about who you are and, how you navigate through the sports media between Tijuana and San Diego?
Yeah, pretty much. I started off covering San Diego State soccer back in 2003. That's how I got into soccer here in San Diego when Lev Kirshner I think it was the second season there. And he is actually coaching now with the AFC San Diego. I don't know what their status is, but yeah, I started with San Diego State, the sports section there, and I just branched out to freelance as much as I could. Right now, as you mentioned, I'm doing El Sol de Tijuana. Not doing as much as with the Latino right now. My buddy took over the sports section there, but and I'm also going to be starting up when the season starts with Soccer Nation, doing the recaps for 1904 and for SD Loyal. So I just got into it because my dad's a big, he plays. I don't know if you guys, I told you, he plays in pro soccer in Mexico, Division One, Division Two. Short career, but that's how I got into it. So I figured I'd stay with something I have a passion for, and I love writing, so that's how I got into it.
That's awesome, man. And honestly, that's something that I'm barely gonna begin to venture into. I'm also at San Diego State right now, and switched over to communications and said, we'll see where this takes us, because there's a giant opportunity here in San Diego with what's going on, especially soccer wise. What was your initial reaction to finding out? Again, we had 1904 FC. But even with SD Loyal, as we have Mr. Mark Estrada from Los Chavos De Loyal. Hector, how did you react when you first found out that there was going to be pretty much a USL side led by Landon Donovan after Soccer City didn't necessarily pan out, as we have Chavos De Loyal joining us with a beautiful purple kit?
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Hector, what's up, man?
What's up, Hector?
Hey, sorry it took so long, guys. They finally published it today. Sorry about that.
Hey,
Oh, don't trip. We were in the waiting room too.
it was beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Yo, that article was ill, man.
How's everybody doing?
We're doing good, man. We just started right now, just kind of talking about how we all initially felt when we found out that there was going to be, 1904 was here first, but club with Landon Donovan after Soccer City kind of failed. We're seeing what was the initial reaction that Hector was having to Loyal coming and becoming a team here.
Well, there was rumors about that. I don't know guys, if you guys were there with us when the vote came down. It was a pretty short night that night when SDFU West, won the vote. So, but there was always kind of rumors about potentials, not necessarily Landon and Warren Smith, but second division teams coming here to San Diego, because this is the market. They compare us to the rest of the country. So I think there's always a potential for that.
Definitely, and there was always those rumors, and even going before Soccer City, before 1904, there was always these sorts of question as far as why does San Diego not have a soccer team, just like Tijuana? This region is a super hotbed for soccer and the sport itself. Why wasn't there some kind of professional soccer being played either in Tijuana or San Diego? So what about you guys? We have why don't you guys let our audience know exactly who you guys are, what your name is, and then what was your reaction to San Diego Loyal coming into fruition?
My name's Kevin Herrera. I'm the president and founder of Chavos De Loyal. My reaction, man, I was like, we finally have a team. Like, give us whatever. Like, whatever level, man. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody to cheer on for, to cheer for, and to represent the city. Like, to have this press right here, oh man, San Diego, that means a lot to a lot of us down here in San Diego.
Mm-hmm. Mark Estrada, Vice President of Chavo De Loyal. Yeah, I mean, same, man. I've been out here, talked about earlier, but I've been out here for, since 2008. So, yeah, a good while now, man. And, like, I didn't get into, like, American football. Like, that was never my thing. And to be able to, even just, like, starting to get into, like, my buddy was a Galaxy fan. So I remember that's when, like, Chivas was coming, like, Chivas was in play there. Mm-hmm. And, trying to find a team for the MLS, I didn't have anything. And so, years down the road of just not having a team to be attached to, and then hearing the rumors of, like, with Soccer City, like, yo, there's a team coming in. That got me super excited. Oh, there we go. We are like this, man. But, let me put that one on.
Yeah, and so again, while we work it out, you guys.
All right, now
there we go.
Yeah. So I mean, just the excitement to be able to have something, like most of us, we're all over the place. We got some Timbers, we got some LAFC, we got some Chelsea, we got some all different types of teams. And though we love those teams, it was never. I couldn't really find myself attached to them. Like as far as like this is the home root, this is the soil, this is everything that we have, and so. This opportunity that we had and that was presented to us, man, that was the ticket to run with. That was something that we could finally say, shoot, like this is our team now. We can actually champion and come behind and build something for this city, man. Like really make an impact and fill that void that was lost, even with the football team leaving, man. So I'm excited. I'm excited about the process. I'm excited about just the potential where this thing can go. Like this thing is gonna be legit, yo.
Yeah, and one thing about you guys, Chavos De Loyal, is first the name is just A+.
Love it.
A+. No sé dónde madre lo sacaron.
Pinche logo chingón también.
El logo más perrón que nada. I got it right there.
Hey, what's up?
So,
if you guys want to hear the story, I could tell you guys.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
All right, so we're at the preseason game in Torero Stadium. We're playing Costa del Este, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So me and this guy right here, Mark, we're just talking. We're like, man, we need some kind of like that Latino flavor, to bring some, to add some tapatio to this hamburger. You know what I'm saying? And we're like, okay, what can we do? And I don't know that. To me, like it was loyal, Chavo Loyal, Locho, Chavos De Loyal. And it was kind of like that same reaction, like Chavos De Loyal. It was something like Chavos De Loyal, something like that.
Yeah.
And then now it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, so you even think about that too, dude. Being a chavalito, being like a little kid, bro. Like, look at little kids, man. They don't give like a putazo, bro. They'll go out and start screaming and shoot out fireworks. Like, dude, you can tell the Mickey Mouse is in your house and they go crazy. It's like, dude, that's what support is supposed to be, where it's like 90+ minute, you're going crazy, man. Like, and that's even in our chant, man, where it's like, dude, we don't care when we have 10 people. We much rather have 10 people than 100 people that are sitting down and just eating food, yo, be a kid again, for 90 minutes, you don't have to think about quote unquote adult things, right? Right now, like you got your heroes in front of you, like go crazy for them.
Yeah, and honestly, I agree with you guys. That's the first thing I noticed when we went to a Loyal game. I told Tony, like, it's like it's a lot of like Caucasian people out here, and I don't see a lot of raza, And then we went to a 1904 game. Y ahí está toda la raza.
I was gonna say,
and we talked to a few people in 1904 that went to a Loyal game, and they're like, we like 1904 better because el ambiente está más perrón, es más raza. And we talked to Mr. Warren too, and he told us he wants to build those two communities together for SD Loyal. And I think that's what me and Tony are kind of planning with this podcast. Be that bridge and bring those two communities together as two Mexicans that are a huge fan of Loyal and huge fan of and huge representation for the raza, you know, we're trying to bring those two communities together and build something great with this Loyal.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's, I mean, you hit it right there on the head too, and it's like we were talking. Just man, you look at this city, bro. Like this city's such a big, small city. I mean, we got from the Koreans and Filipinos and Asian community up north down to, you know, Somalians, Ethiopians, Eritreans out there in East County, like down to the, like, bro, you got everybody here. But the thing that, you know, I really want to push is, you know, we have our Native American kin that are here that obviously are the first ones here. But then at the same time, while the East Coast was becoming a nation, we were still under Spanish rule. We were still in that place that the land of California was still Mexican centered. It was still Mexican focused. So like when you look at the birthplace of California and just look at the birthplace of the West, it came off of the Hispanic Central American roots. And to be able to push that into and when you look at our people down from Nicaragüense like me down all the way to Panama to Cuba to like wherever, man, like we all know food, we all know partying, we all know dancing, we all know family. Like you put all that together, man, and we bring everybody in our circle, man. Everybody comes from familia once they enter our circle. So like, why not? You know, obviously, why not? But I think that's something that we have is that we understand our people and we understand the flavor that we can bring and the pasión that we can bring into this game. And I think that was even the bigger thing that really excited us to show people something different from like, and not to disrespect at all, but like an EPL style chant, which it's its own thing. But when you start hearing those samba rhythms, when you start hearing that clave going on, when you start hearing those that bombo going on, oh my gosh, man, like that's going to make the average person who's watching the game start standing up and dancing and start chanting and moving. And that's exactly the atmosphere we want to bring, you know? So.
No, definitely. And let me ask you, Hector, you've been around the region and been, you know, on the pulse of the soccer community. And have you seen, I mean, something like this with other projects maybe and where it seems like there's a united front, not just with one side of, let's just say the dollar, where usually north of the 80 or not north of the 8, everybody's kind of, it's one soccer culture, and everybody south from the 8 is a different soccer culture. Hector, have you seen this be a little bit different this time, or what are you noticing with movements such as these?
That's an interesting point actually, because I talked about this with Paul Redfern of 1904, and it's like basically like 1904 is big on like obviously the Hispanic Mexican connection with Tijuana so close and stuff. But at the same time, you know, it's gonna be hard to compete with Loyal in that sense because Loyal is obviously second division, bigger budget, Landon Donovan, and everything else. So if there's a way to bridge that gap between, you know, NISA, USL here locally, and for them, I've been doing my best to create rivalries everywhere, dude. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter with Ensenada, with TJ, with 1904. So if we can foster that, even if it's you know, local rivalry between 1904 and SC Loyal. Obviously, like I said, third division, second division is a big gap, especially here in the U.S., not so much in Mexico. But if we can find a way to bring that commonality that we were talking about a second ago, I think more people are going to go to 1904, and it's not like you're going to be feel like you're excluded from SC Loyal or vice versa. So as long as we can foster that from the grassroots, I think both sides are going to win.
Yeah, and Tony's mentioned it too. Like, you know, just that San Diego Derby.
El Clásico de San Diego. Yeah.
Clásico de San Diego. That's itself. Yeah, it's a great name. Also, like with Cholos, what you call it, the Clásico de la Frontera.
El Clásico de la Frontera, something like that, like de la Línea, something.
Yeah,
like,
man,
it's so easy, like for when it actually does happen. Anyways, if it does happen.
Yeah, if the U.S. Open Cup picks up again, I don't know what's the status of that. I haven't followed up on it because obviously supposedly they were going to match up against each other in the third round. But even if it doesn't pick up, maybe just a friendly or an exhibition or even a scrimmage, dude, something that can bring both you know, fan bases together, and it'll probably be the same fan base because everybody loves San Diego kind of thing.
Exactly. So let me ask you guys, you know, I think it's safe to say that you guys are working with the supporter group, the locals, with Chavos. And I know there's been talks about some sort of events, even involving us, in the future. But are there any plans with them, or how are talks with the local supporter group for the SD Loyal going?
We keep in touch like every week. We know that. I mean, when we built this Chavos, it wasn't to kind of build something different.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of to add to what they already built, which was great in the span of time they had. So everything that we look forward in the future has the locals involved. Yep. So it's not like we built this to kind of move on our own. We built this to make something bigger than both of our supporter groups. 100%. Because we want other supporter groups to join. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, that's the main goal. I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah, and like, we've been meeting with them almost weekly now, whether that's a conversation or face-to-face. And that's the thing that, we wanted to bring comfort for them and just anybody who's even watching this too, is that, like, we're all part of this one city, and the team that we represent is the Loyal. That's our team. And there's so much honor to give to what the locals did, as far as, less than 9 months, we all went from being a team as a Loyal to then, okay, how do we create a supporter group with, like, less than that, where most supporter groups had 3 years to actually build a foundation. And what they did in those months was ridiculous to see that turnout within the supporter section. So, hats off, and all respect and honor goes to them. And I'm always gonna, make sure that even people coming to Chavos or whatever, that you remember who kind of were the fathers that painted the way for you to have this opportunity to be able to be an SG, or to be part of an SG that's different than the locals. And one of the things that, and it's not wrong or malicious whatsoever, but there was a focus, and maybe we couldn't hit all the different communities that are out here. And that makes sense when you look at the time frame that they had to be able to build this thing. And for us to come and support them and to support the team in general, we are part of that multicultural city, that we can come in and we can begin to show the access and the freedom that there is to be able to represent yourself as your culture, or just bring in a different perspective of what makes you passionate about football. And so everything that we're doing this because one day, my dream is to see my kids up on the Capel stands going crazy, or on the drums somewhere. And it's about this thing that, I can't wait to be able to pass this torch on to the next Capels or the next presidents or vice presidents that are going to be able to take this and go even further than us. So yeah, 100%, man. Those are the homies,
Yeah, and they have a similar stance, I guess. We did talk with Jerry, director of communications for the locals, and we asked him, like, hey, what was your favorite part of that whole first game? And he said that the fact that he could bring his kid up and have him playing the drums, just that having his team in the background, and something that's going to be built not for Jerry or anybody who's any one of us, honestly, but it's for those future generations, for them to enjoy. And I think, again, the fact that across the board, all the Chavos De Loyal, the locals, and even those who aren't necessarily in the supporter group, they feel that same thing, and it's something that just warms your heart, and it's one of the things I think is going to make this project work.
Yep. I think that's a big that's a big reason we picked El Chavo, because El Chavo, if you think about it, he's eternal. Yep. I mean, my grandma's seen him, my dad's seen him, I seen him, my kids seen him, and it's just like it's a reminder to us that we're building this for the future. For when we're gone, we can't do this anymore. Somebody could pick it up, and if you're from San Diego, you could go and every weekend be like, okay, I'm going to be with my barra, mi hinchada, I'm going to go give it all 90 plus. Mm-hmm. And that's something coming from from Guadalajara, we had it over there. And I'm so passionate about having it here because this is my city. I'm going to feel it even more. You know what I'm saying? Especially to be the first barra. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And sorry, Kevin, what are the 3 words that you said? Like, I quoted them, I forgot. Hogar, something else, familia?
Oh, yeah. Historia, familia, hogar.
La banda de la frontera.
San Diego to us. Yeah. It's a history, it's a family we have here within, just the friendships you make, family you make, and it's our home, hogar,
I mean, even going off of that too, just like piggybacking off of that, just think about, bro, like California was birthed out of this city. And even think about, shoot, National City, man, that's where Hollywood was birthed out of. You know, so many
Cafe La
different
Mez,
things.
National City, homie.
Out of,
Shout out. Sorry.
right? So setting cultures and why not us right now in this moment and continue to pass on that reality of who San Diego is, where things that impact generations, you know, and especially for the soccer community here in the United States that's grown really big, you know, thanks to like people like Atlanta United or LAFC or the Timbers that have, you know, really shown what supporter culture looks like here in the States. Like, well, why not us now? Why not loyal supporter culture? Why not, you know, the two groups that are coming in or the other groups that are coming together to show like, okay, now it's our turn to bark up. Like, you know, like we got something down here that you guys have never seen before. It's completely than Los Angeles. It's completely different than San Francisco. You know, this is San Diego.
If they can do it, we can do it. This is soccer city. This is soccer city. Right
Yep.
All right, so I have to ask, you know, we talked to Jerry about it, and obviously it's a big challenge for them to try to stop this. But there's a famous chant, we all know it. You know, it's a famous Mexican chant. When the goalkeeper's about to take a goal kick, we all yell, "Hey!" You know the words. I'm not gonna say them.
Yep.
Obviously, for the locals, it's a big thing to try to stop that. Obviously, for FIFA in general, it's a big thing to try to stop it. So, how do you think you guys are gonna help out in that manner to try to not have that chant be going on at Torero Stadium?
This could be for all three of you. Like, how does one even go about that to change the culture? Because it is a part of soccer culture for Mexicans.
Yeah.
If I were the team, I would like probably start either fining or like having people point out other. I hate people getting narked on, but if it gets to the point where people are still doing it, even after like, you know, the public address announcer gives you the code of conduct, you do it once, people start pointing out. So that I don't expect FIFA to do anything, dude. I've been following FIFA my whole life. Those guys are like in their own corrupt little world over there.
Yeah.
So. And the league can be proactive in that and start fining or even threatening fans to get kicked out of the game, then I think it'll actually reverberate, you know, more.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. What about you guys? How do you guys plan on maybe tackling it, avoiding it, or what is the Chavo stance on that?
The Chavo stance is basically zero tolerance. We're gonna make sure our members know that we're not about that. Yeah, we're a barra style, but there's just things we got to remember where we're at. There's just things we can't do.
Yep.
And if FIFA doesn't want that or whatever, we will try to make chants that sound like that, but use different words. There's many things you could do, like, you know. So
yeah, and you know, even like some of the conversations that we had, especially looking at just how raw things are right now, and another reason, you know, I feel, you know, one of the puzzle pieces for this bigger picture of a supporter group as us being Chavos is that San Diego's a big Hispanic community, and especially how things are very high and very tense, that let's just say if the wrong culture, the wrong person comes and tries to tone down a culture that, you know, that they may not understand, or that person doesn't have any kind of relationship to, like, let's just say somebody tries to come in and, you know, we get our people, we get our community, we get that mindset and that culture, and not only to show kind of how we're in this together, but also to support one another. We know that we would be able to tone down an anger situation or tone down a situation that may cause a division, because there is a Hispanic community that is addressing that and actually setting that precedent of like, yo, we're like, this is, you know, this is 2020, but at the same time, you know, like, this is really 2020. Like, enough is enough. You know, we gotta address things on all manners, and this is something that we can, you know, hopefully this will make an impact down south even more. And so, yeah, that's something for us. Is, you know, we're definitely gonna bark up on that, and we're definitely going to make sure that our, you know, our community, our people, the Hispanic race knows that, yo, it's time to evolve from that.
Yeah, I think Jerry said it as well. He said, you know, it's not about how you're saying, because the argument is, oh, we don't say it like that, we don't mean it in that manner. But Jerry said, and I found that really interesting. So it's not about how you're interpreting, how you're saying it. It's how people are taking it. Which is which is honestly really true. And yeah, I mean, it's a big problem, not only, I mean, here, but in soccer in general, in the Mexican culture. But uh, I think we could be the start of that movement. To not say that chant.
I think it's up to us,
Yeah.
us Chivas fans especially, because people forget. I mean, it's a tradition that kind of had its roots in Jalisco a little bit, and
Yeah.
and it expanded to the Mexican national team, and it just blew up from there, and everybody started doing it. But I think it's us. I think as Chivas supporters, the majority of us here, to be that change, and maybe kill the child that we created, our little Frankenstein.
And to that point, guys, real quick, somos bien montoneros. Like it'll be hard to find one guy who actually starts the chant unless he sees other people doing the chant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you cut it out, nip it in the bud as soon as possible, I think it'll help out a lot.
No, that is true. Like, I mean, if you have one person que es bien desmadroso, they want to say the chant, and they say it, but he sees everyone like, nah, we're not about that. Se va a sentir bien pendejo el güey, straight up. And he's gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Okay, like,
Exactly.
okay, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and again, that's across the board, and it's not like we're all aligning ourselves with what does Loyal or with this specific team have as their mission statement. It's like, no, this is organically coming from all of us, from us, the podcast, from you guys, to the locals, to up all the way up until the owner Andrew, who he himself, I in one of like conversations off camera just went like, yeah, like, this is what we want. We want to unite all the barrios and everybody from Oceanside to San Isidro and everybody in between type of thing. But that's something like he was very well aware. Like, this certain Uto, he didn't even say it. He's like,
Yeah.
is not going to fly here, and so he doesn't sound like that at all. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it's part of that.
That's kind of what
we're no longer allowed to go to Loyal games. Sorry.
I mean.
I think it's fun till somebody feels uncomfortable. Then it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who's a good example? Sorry, guys. The guys, the Phoenix Rising, Parra is, I can't remember, the Bandidos, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They have a
The
great
Bandidos?
example. I can't remember what their name is, but like the
Yeah.
supporters group there, have a great example. If anybody can like look them up, look up their games on YouTube and see how they conduct themselves, that would be a really good example.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If they weren't our rivals, we would do that, but we were not.
Yeah. We're gonna do it better.
Yeah.
No, and like back how Tony was saying, that's gonna be the biggest challenge, bringing all the communities together. Because I mean, I'll ask some friends down here in Chula Vista, hey, like, you guys should definitely go to a Loyal game, and they're like, like, why? And I think that's gonna be the biggest challenge, trying to like get the average soccer fan that's not from that area, like San Isidro, Chula Vista, East Lake, to try to convince them to go to a game, because it is a bit of a drive too, and some people are like, it's not MLS. I think that's the biggest issue with some people here, and I think pushing the USL name is what's gonna make it big for San Diego, making people realize, like, USL, it's still a pro league, it's still really competitive when you watch it. It's great soccer to watch, and you never know what can happen in the future.
Yep. I mean, and like, I hate to even like mention, the Galaxies, but I mean, look at Efraim Alvarez, man. Like, he was like one of the top tier dudes in this league, and now look where he's at. So like, you just hit it on the head. Like, dude, we have a lot of phenomenal talent. Just because it doesn't have MLS in it doesn't mean it's not professional. It's not aggressive. In fact, I think it's probably even more, just because the amount of teams that are in this league, it's ridiculous. So you're constantly grinding, you're constantly going after, and so
these guys are hungry, man.
Yeah, that's what I like about the USL, man. These players want to prove themselves. They want to eventually go up into the MLS or European soccer or the Mexican league. So they go balls out, straight up. They go balls out, and they play hard. And watching that soccer, that type of football, it's super entertaining, man.
And that's why
You
it
know, it
pisses me
reminds me
off
of, it
that
reminds me of the fights in TJ. The guys that are coming up, man, those are way better than the actual like big MGM ones. Man, those
yeah.
they go
Yeah.
all out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bro, lucha libre, bro, en el auditorio municipal is better than anything WWE has, bro. Y más barato, más barato. Oh. But yeah, Hector, you were
Chelas
saying?
on
what
dólar.
sucks about the U.S. Open Cup not being around it because that's when the USO has their chance to compete with the NLS.
100%.
And I'll tell you what, there's a couple of USL teams that can really go like a long way. Like last season, who was it? Either Phoenix Rising or Sacramento Republic.
New
one of those
Mexico
teams.
United went pretty far too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Mexico United too. So that I mean, in some sense, some MLS teams must be, oh man, good thing we don't have to play the U.S. Open Cup because we don't want to be the one that loses to the USL team.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, now we're getting a little bit into the nitty gritty of the actual play, the team themselves. Loyal is scheduled to play on July 11th against Monarcas. I'm just calling them
Real-
Monarcas because there's no other Monarcas to talk about anymore. So they're the official
R.I.P.
Monarcas.
Hey.
Acapulco,
Acapulco.
So what's up? Where's the watch party at for that game at? Where's it gonna be?
Somebody was saying some brewing. Didn't somebody bring up some brewing on Twitter today or something?
'Cause I know a lot of bars in San Diego are closing unless they have a food license, right?
Mhm.
So something that's pretty cool too, and we're actually working on some things with them. So right now we're at Creature Brewing, and we've been just having a bunch of just really dope conversations with them, and we're really trying to make this the Chavo bar in East County, and the support that we're getting from them. We'll definitely keep you guys updated, but I think that when that time comes for us to watch the game, I think we'll probably be able to stream the games here and be able to have this as another designated bar that supports the Loyal team because they're all about this team too. So shout out to Creatures, yo.
Yep, Saturday Creature.
Creative Creature.
Creative Creature Brewing, El Cajon on Magnolia. Actually, it's actually where I met these guys and got some of the stickers,
Nice.
traded some of the stickers with them. But yeah, I mean, it's a great spot too. And again, when everything just starts moving along forward, hopefully that'll be one of the hubs for Loyal watch parties.
Yeah, we got some things cooking up. So we'll definitely, when those things get locked in, we'll definitely be excited to kind of release those things with you. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that as well.
Definitely.
Can't wait, man.
Looking forward to it. So again, how do you guys think that the Loyals, what are their chances with the schedule out in its entirety for the rest of the regular season? If we do get to play the whole season, we're going to go. We'll start with you, Hector. How do you think the Loyals going to go ahead and fare in this rest of the season?
I think it's awesome that they have to play the best team in the USL right off the bat after the
Straight
long
up,
break.
yep.
I think it'll be like a good trial by fire kind of thing because I know technically they're in first place. Not technically, they're in first place, 4 points and stuff, but it's been so long ago, it feels like a new season.
Mm-hmm.
Going up against Eric Holt. Shout out to Eric Holt, former San Diego Best legend. And going up against the champions, it's going to be a good gauge to see for Landon to see where the players are at, mind and body and technique-wise. So win, lose, or draw, hopefully they win, but I think a tie would be great, especially on the road, and then that'll continue them for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. How about you guys over there? How do you guys see this first game coming back?
I'm thinking about that. I mean, you can kind of compare it to what's happening with the MLS tournament too. Like everything's been cut so short, and now you really don't have time to play around and to kind of test the waters out. Like you got to and I'm seeing it on the Instagram. The team is putting 100% in their sessions. They're going all out because we ain't got that much time to kind of really prove us as the new boys on the block. And so, man, I think it's good. I think if we really want to be the big dogs that are going to come in next year when we have that full season, and we really want to show people that, whatever the score was against Vegas or whatever that may be, or just trying to get the kinks out, like we're going to call out the biggest dudes, and the biggest dudes are the champs. So, why not? Let's go swinging. And I really think that, especially how they're just, watching that pressure and just the endurance that we have, like really being able to keep up that 3-5-2, like that's going to be really dope to showcase that here's a team that really has that endurance to push. here's that team that really has the endurance with communications on the wings and then cut inside like we were doing. Like, we have some really solid dudes. So, you know, I'm excited because I think this is really going to test the team's mentality and also how hungry are we willing to make a statement right now. And I think they're pretty hungry.
I agree. We've been, during this whole quarantine, our podcast has been alive with no sports somehow. But we've had the fortune to be able to talk with a lot of the players from SD Loyal. We talked with Metcalf, Zizzo, Avi. We spoke to Fenlinson, which is a bunch of different guys, and every single one of them has this kind of mentality of unfinished business. Like, we started something and we didn't even have a chance to finish it, because that last game we got a W. We got a win up in Tacoma. It was one of the last games in North America to be played with no fans in the stadium. But after that first game, even Jack came up to me. I don't think he knew it was me. I'm like, hey man, you know, good game. And before unprompted, he's like, you know what? We're gonna get the next one for you guys. I was like, oh, all right, good. That's what I like to hear. And so this team just seems like they want to come out and prove to everybody that, look, this is here to stay, and we're gonna go ahead and put 100% into it. And to the versatility, I mean, in one game that you can prove, you know, Big Joe Greenspan, you know, went down early in that first game. Yeah, we got him back, but, you know, Landon was able to, and company were able to bounce back after having an early injury. Just talk about the versatility and depth that Loyal does have at the end of the day.
And I think one thing all these players have in common, and they all agree on, is the team is a really diverse team, and it's just something about the team that feels different here in San Diego. With the culture and the community they have, they all said it, that it's probably the best fan base they've seen for a USL team, especially since that event where they dropped the new
kit reveal party.
The kit reveal party. Yeah, they all said it, like, in the amount of time that the team was built, and the time that they gave people like notice, like, hey, like, there's a new team, like, it drew a pretty big crowd, and that's what they're all impressed about. And they feel the pressure, but I think they're ready to show that they can handle this.
Yep.
I still remember Warren Smith's face on the preseason game against Costa del Este. He was so happy, dude, and like sold out stadium. I was like, he was like a kid in a candy store, dude. I took a picture with the guy. He was so happy.
And honestly, like, this was something I shared with the Chavos when I spoke with them, is that it's going to be up to us, the fan base, to make it work, one. But not just us, the fan base. It's us, the ones that speak Spanish, the ones that are here, the ones that they're trying to bridge together. We're the ones that are going to have to show I like to call them the business cards. Everybody in the front office that gives you we need to show them that we're serious about this, and we're serious about the team, and we have our expectations, and we're going to hold them up to those expectations. Don't just think just because we have the coolest and sickest logo and sickest uniforms, it's amazing purple goalkeeper shirt and sponsored by a amazing beer company, that we're just going to let your play pass. No, we're going to hold you accountable to what you say, and it's going to be us that's going to let them know during the games, after the games, and, you know, before games, say, this is what we expect, and let's go.
Aquí te partes la madre, güey.
Exactamente.
Yeah. I already told them that I talk shit when they win. I'm really gonna talk shit if they lose. They better not lose.
Exactly, and that's how it's gonna be. Like, you know, like any team, like, we all have our teams, and we do that with their teams. Whether it be
querían chivistas, ya los tienen.
¿Verdad?
Ya los tienen.
Ya están saliendo.
Nosotros sabemos qué es sufrir, y estos cabrones no nos van a hacer sufrir. Van a ver.
But yeah, so as we kind of wrap this up, guys, Hector, I know you and Chavos De Loyal collaborated on the little article that came out. If you want to talk about it briefly, we got about a couple minutes left to go, just so we can send them out and get them some reading, because these guys are awesome.
Yeah, but if anybody has time to check out El Sol de Tijuana, I posted it on the USL Fanáticos and USL San Diego Facebook pages. Just check it out. I'll be updating as much as I can during the season. It was great that I met with Kevin and the guys at Chavos, and my editor loved the idea. Obviously, I told him, hey, Chavo De Loyal is a legend. We got to do a story on you guys and Chavos and everything. So it turned out okay, and the thing that I liked about the article, Yeah, I like that it's exclusive to not just San Diego, but also TJ, so everybody across the border can feel like they're at home. And they want to get more information on Chavos Del Ocho, they know who to contact now through the article.
Absolutely. I want to let them know where they can find you on Twitter, Hector.
Yeah, you can find me at S and Sam, D as in David Steeler. I'm sure we'll talk again soon, and thanks for having me, guys.
SD Steelers. Awesome, guys. Chavos, want to let them know where they can find you guys and where they can find your future plans and whatnot?
You can find us on Instagram at Chavos De Loyal, and we don't have a Twitter yet, but we're gonna make more social media.
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm telling you, we're like the old millennials that are trying to figure out this like social media stuff. So forgive us on
Y'all
that.
gotta hop on
but,
Twitter, bro. The hype's on Twitter right now.
See, man, I'm over here going back to Vine, yo. I'm trying to re-download Vine again.
Stuck on MySpace, bro. I'm stuck on
Back
MySpace,
to
man.
MySpace, bro. I know how to code. I know how to get you that theme song for your webpage. But we're also trying definitely keep eye out on the Instagram, and once we get that Twitter up, we're definitely gonna start having meetings on just kind of bringing everybody together to share more, meet people, even just as far as like even forming this foundation even more, and whether that's from the music end or behind the scenes. So definitely follow us. Just pay attention for those updates and when we're gonna actually get together.
I love it, man. And we're going to go ahead and keep an eye on everybody just to see where you guys are at as soon as this season starts back up. Appreciate your time, guys. Thank you, Hector. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Kevin. Chavos De Loyal. Get your
guys.
stickers. Follow them. We will see much more of them coming.
We'll see you guys soon for sure.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, boys. All right.
Adiós a
Later.
todos. Thank you.